YouTube currently has more than 2 billion active users around the world. This equates to about a quarter of the Earth's population frequenting the platform. Well, the idea behind YouTube seems like a no-brainer today. Go back to early 2005, and it was unlike anything else on the internet. Facebook had been founded only a year before, and MySpace was the primary social media site for user-generated content. To fill this void, 3 friends who previously worked at PayPal together created a site called YouTube. The idea was that anyone could upload video content with the click of a button.
There were a few online videos, and there were big companies like Microsoft, Google, venturing into digital video. What YouTube figured out was a really easy and accessible way for people to upload and share and watch. And then they kind of lucked into this concept that people were willing to watch not just stuff that was on TV and popular personalities, but homemade amateur video.
That's Mark Bergen, a business journalist for Bloomberg and Businessweek, and the author of the new book, Like, Comment, Subscribe, Inside YouTube's Chaotic Rise to World Domination. Bergen notes that part of YouTube's long-term success is its early link-up with Google. Less than a year after its official launch, the founders sold the site to the tech giant in 2006 for $1.65 billion. As YouTube flourished in the coming decades, so did the variety of videos on its platform. From music videos to makeup tutorials, the idea is that there's something for everyone. If you enjoy watching video game streams, try YouTube Gaming. Want to watch videos of influencers eating countless different foods? Search for mukbangs. No matter the genre, the end goal is to produce content that captures a lot of views and, in turn, a lot of revenue. But this can lead down a slippery slope. For example, shopping hauls have long been a trend on YouTube. Creators go out and buy clothes or other items and then sit down in front of the camera explaining what they bought. Viewers can then purchase these exact items through links in the video's description box.
There are critics that have pointed out, some of the most popular YouTube videos for kids have been toy unboxing videos, and they're kind of been equated to like 20-minute long commercials. So on television in around the 70s and 80s, there was a big movement, like the Sesame Street movement, basically like, well, this is a powerful medium where kids are watching broadcast TV, and they pushed for regulation that said there should be a certain time allocated for educational programming. You should limit advertising because kids aren't maybe necessarily able to discern between what's an ad and what's programming. You can only have a certain amount of promotions inside TV shows. And there are also rules about child labor laws. Like none of that exists on YouTube.
And this type of constant consumer-driven content also caters to teens and adults. According to a Pew Research study published earlier this month, 95% of teens use YouTube. TikTok came in second place with 67% of teens saying they use the app. With such a large audience, sensationalized videos where YouTubers buy extravagant cars or spend thousands of dollars in one luxe shopping trip can reap in hundreds of thousands of views.
You go on every YouTube channel will tell you to do this. It will tell you to buy something. It is such a platform that's oriented toward commerce and scale. I think there's a little bit of pushback to that right now, but that's been what has been the most successful videos on YouTube, are the ones that can kind of raise above the noise of the fray.
Bergen says that YouTube has long struggled to create a balance on its platform between these entertaining, consumerism-laden videos and more quality-driven educational videos. He highlights that the site's algorithm itself is flawed because it props up videos that are similar to what people are already watching. To counter this, the company is working to create new education-focused partnerships, but only time will tell if this strategy succeeds.
They just launched recently this really interesting new education service trying to sell into schools, an area where they've tried in the past. And so one of the points I make in the book is that they really blew this opportunity to foster a lot of these educational creators. And my hope is that this could look differently. That being said, they're competing with TikTok, and a lot of the videos that compete with TikTok, that kind of content is not necessarily educational, right? It's just eye candy.
There's no doubt that YouTube is filled with creators who are producing informative, high-quality content. You can essentially type in anything you want to learn about and see it explained in video form. Want to learn a new language or how to sew? There are countless creators focused on exactly these topics. The hard part is making these videos more visible to the average viewer who may not be specifically seeking them out. One recent rollout to improve visibility is YouTube Shorts, which mimics the format of TikTok videos. The algorithm for Shorts focuses on boosting creators who don't have a large following.
What's interesting about YouTube Shorts and TikTok is that they're not necessarily the big stars. I think YouTube is sort of seen as a very crowded place now, and it's hard to break through unless you have a large audience. So Shorts is a bit more unpredictable. And so I feel like in some ways the trends on YouTube might be moving in directions that we can't even expect.
Although some creators and viewers are moving to TikTok or Twitch, citing that YouTube is dead, the numbers paint a different story. Revenue on YouTube is only growing, with ad sales totaling $28 billion last year. Many other social media sites are trying to learn from this success. After all, YouTube has been in the game for almost 2 decades, and a lot has changed during that time.
Go look at Instagram today. It's obviously trying to become like TikTok. Your feed is no longer your friends and family. It is influencers you don't know. It is celebrities, people with like popular posts. And then the companies are trying to really seize the business model that YouTube created, where they built the systems to share revenue as a way to continue growing.
Bergen says that YouTube has long faced criticism for its inability to respond preemptively to problems plaguing the site. One big current focus is to increase inclusiveness and make YouTube a safer place to be online.
They put in a lot of rules around misinformation, around harassment and bullying, around hate speech that didn't exist a few years ago. And that is in response to pressure, both from their employee base, people who speak out on this, from the press, and from regulators, which is their chief concern. And so the history of the companies, they respond, and from their advertisers as well, they respond and make changes when they're forced to do so. And they're now under the threat of regulation in a way that they've never been before. So they are an extremely cautious company, but I think you're going to see them continue to push and say, we have educational material. We are sort of a responsible platform. And in many ways, what they're saying without saying it is like, well, we're not Facebook. And so I think you're going to continue to see them doing that.
While so many people are talking about TikTok and the rise of shorter, quicker videos, there will always be a place for long-form content, and that's YouTube. To find out more about this topic and our guest, Mark Bergen, visit viewpointsradio.org. This segment was written and produced by Amira Zaveri, studio production by Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson. Coming up next week.
Workers are finding that even under all this pressure, working for a company that's making an immense amount of money, they have to choose at the end of the month between groceries or rent.
Better understanding the current labor revolt. Then,
I'm saying, go ahead. The world will see what you're going to do.
The power of photography during the civil rights movement. I'm Marty Peterson.
And I'm Gary Price. These stories in depth on your public affairs magazine, Viewpoints.
And that's Viewpoints for this week. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to learn more about upcoming shows and find a library of past programs on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Plus, you'll always find previous segments and more information about our guests at viewpointsradio.org. Join us again next week for another edition of Viewpoints.